introduce myself. My name is Matt Call. I am an engineer with in the dam safety and stream alteration section, and I get the pleasure of talking to you about dam safety. David maybe put a little bit of pressure on me. He wasn't even the last guy to be speaking, and he was talking about getting you guys out early. So what kind of pressure does that put on me? I totally recognize that I am between you and freedom here. So I will try to go through this information here. So we'll get into it here. So today we're going to be discussing the dam safety and stream alteration program. So let's first of all take a brief look at what the rules are. I mean, just essentially where the rules are that govern that. If for dam safety, it's going to be in Utah Code Section 73.5A, and then there's also administrative rules 655.10 through 12. And essentially what it is, what it boils down to is what it says on this slide here, that the state engineer has the authority to regulate dams for the purpose of protecting public safety and to protect life and property. And so the state engineer may make rules controlling the construction and operation of dams. And so those rules controlling that construction and operation are just where we talked about there. So in these administrative rules, they do cover the design, they cover the maintenance, repair, removal, and abandonment. They also cover some other items there about standing operating plans, emergency action plans, and it also goes into instrumentation monitoring and reporting of what that instrumentation on dams. I think the biggest thing to take away from this is anyone who wants to construct, enlarge, repair, alter, or abandon a dam must have approval from the state engineer before they start. And it's pretty important that we get in there before we start, so we can. And really, when it boils down to it, the earlier you involve us in the process when you want to build a dam, the much smoother that's going to go. So when you start thinking about in the early stages, if you're wanting to build a dam, give us a call right up front, and and we can start talking with you about what it takes to build a dam and what's going to be involved. So that really does lead into this next item. We really categorize, there's two different processes for approvals for dams. So let's talk about the first one here. The first one really is a small dam application. And that involves reservoirs that are less than 20 acre feet, and that if the dam were to fail, it wouldn't constitute a threat to human life. So this is really dealing with a lot of your smaller dams, irrigation reservoir, holding ponds, along those lines. And so what it takes for that is that there's a 2-page application on our website. You can either fill it out on the website, or you can print it off, fill it out, and then send it in to us. And there's some additional information that would be asked of you beyond those 2 pages. Really, it just kind of is looking for a map of where your dam's going to be built, and maybe some even just some rough drawings of what you plan on doing for that, for a dam that meets those criteria. If a dam doesn't meet either of those criteria, so if it's over 20 acre feet, storage, or that if it failed that it could potentially threaten life, then we go more into a formal submission of plans. And with that formal submission, there's going to be design reports, official drawings, official specifications for the project, and in that case, the state engineer is allowed 90 days to review that. I will say we are much faster than that 90 days. So we're interested in working with you and getting these projects taken care of as you go forward there. Under both of those options, both the small dam application, the smaller application, and the larger process, which involves design reports and everything along those lines, plans for the construction, enlargement, repair, alteration, or removal have to be prepared by a qualified engineer for two things. Number one, who is licensed in the state of Utah, and they're also experienced in dam design and construction. And so we just look for that experience, so we know we're getting good, safe dams built. So once you got a plan and we've approved it, awesome. Then you go into construction. And so during construction, there's also going to be engineers who oversee the work that are going on, and they submit weekly reports to us. And those weekly reports include the engineer's observations, what was going on for the site, and also any testing that went on for it as well. In conjunction with that engineer that would be on site during a construction of a dam, we as dam safety, we're going to be involved with that also. We'll be involved in the construction. We'd come out and make periodic inspections, just making sure things are going well, if there's any problems or anything along those lines, and just making sure that also the dam construction is being followed by the approved plans and specifications. That being said, we are there to help and assist when those processes are going on. And if there's an issue that comes up, we like to be, we like to have a good relationship as these dams are being built so that we can talk and discuss, and if there's problems, we can work things out in a manner that works well for everybody usually. So that kind of covers construction of a dam. So so this kind of covers if you build your dam, or there's any existing dam, the division has responsibility for inspecting existing dams, and there's a lot out there. There's approximately 700 dams around the state, 700 plus that fall into this category. But the frequency of those inspections depends on the hazard rating for the dam. Now, the hazard rating for a dam, you'll hear a hazard rating of high or moderate and low. Just because a dam you hear the word high hazard dam, that doesn't mean that the dam is in poor condition. What that means is that if the dam were to fail, that there would be a potential loss of life there. And so that's how we categorize a high hazard dam. If a dam runs the risk under failure of creating significant property damage but no loss of life, it would be a moderate hazard structure. And if a dam has relatively minimal property damage, it's going to be a low hazard dam. And so that's how we determine the inspection of dams. High hazard dams are inspected annually every year. Moderate hazard dams are inspected every 2 years, and low hazard dams are inspected every 5 years on that. So once an inspection is done, we go out, for an inspection, we go out and we observe the general conditions of the dam, looking for any changes that are in the performance or the operation of the dam. And so that really involves a couple of things. That involves the actual boots on the ground, looking at the dam, seeing if anything's changed from year to year. But that also includes looking at the monitoring and data for different dams and seeing if anything's changing in there as well. Once that inspection is done, we'll put out a report, and in that report we would specify any maintenance, repair, or other needs required for the dam to protect life and property, and then once those items are identified, the owner of the dam is responsible for those maintenance items. And like I said, there's the division. If there's a moderate and low hazard dams don't necessarily we don't require instrumentation on. Moderate hazard and definitely high hazard dams we require instrumentation on. And this information provides just additional data than what you can actually see on the ground. So this typically gives us information on foundation pressures that are going on in the dams, typically through the use of piezometers. Piezometers are essentially just a monitoring well into the embankment where we can measure the water level in the embankment. That gives us a good idea of the pressures that are inside the dam, and also drains in the dam. You just give us an idea of seepage rates through the dam. Other instrumentations that you might see on a dam are also like settlement plates. We can see if the foundation is settling, the dam is moving in any way whatsoever, and we also have inclinometers in the case of maybe those are indicative of where maybe we're seeing movement in the embankment or movement on the sides of the dam, the abutments, where there might be a landslide. Those can give us an idea of how much movement is going on there. But all of these provide really important insight into what's going on the insides of the dam, and so we can look at that. And so these readings on this instrumentation are also submitted to dam safety, and we review those and when they come in and just make sure things are looking good there. Maybe we'll take a pause there. I'm going to switch to stream alterations, but before I did that, maybe I'd just open it up to questions on any questions about the dam safety program specifically. Yes?
Can you just repeat the intervals of inspections based on low, medium?
So high hazard dams, again, those that would if they were to fail, would have a loss of life. Those are every year annually. A moderate hazard with significant property damage would be every 2 years, and low hazard dams with minimal property damage would be every 5 years. Is that what that is? Yes.
Yes. Who has jurisdiction over canal safety?
So I don't even know if I want to get into that one. That one has been brought up with canal safety in the past with the legislature. They have kicked around a number of things in the past about canal safety and where that's going. But as of right now, there really isn't. We do not regulate canal safety. Is where that's at. Anybody else? Okay, we'll jump into stream alterations. So just kind of introducing it here. There's statute code from the state, section 73.329, and also administrative rules, R655.13, and they give the authority to the state engineer. That's essentially this right here. I'll read it. A state agency, county, city corporation, or person may not relocate any natural stream channel or alter the bed and banks of any natural stream without first obtaining the written approval from the state engineer. That pretty much means if you are going to be working in or around a stream, you will most likely need a stream alteration permit. And so to get into that, that approval comes through an application process. And the application can, again, same thing, can be completed online. You can print it, or you can print it, fill it out, and email it in with the fee schedule. Now that's something to talk about here. As far as a fee schedule goes for a non-commercial entity, this would include maybe, just for example, maybe a private homeowner or something like that that has a stream running in their backyard. A $100 application fee. For governmental agencies, cities, county, whatever, there's $500. And then for a commercial operation, it would be $2,000. And the processing time on that is about 30 days. Again, sometimes we definitely try to get those through quicker. One thing to talk about here, the state statute requires that the state, you obtain permission, approval from the state of Utah for stream alteration, but in all instances, you also require approval from the Army Corps of Engineers. Rather than duplicating a lot of work, the Army Corps of Engineers, in conjunction with and partnered with the state of Utah, there's this app that we've developed this they call it the Programmatic General Permit 10. The easy way, and everybody refers to it as PGP 10. And what that does is it allows approval for both state and federal agencies to approve these stream alterations. Now, this application process applies to most things that you're going to be dealing with that are minimal impacts to streams. Maybe some examples are like you're putting in a culvert, or there's maybe a bridge structure or something going in around it, and this joint application typically covers those things for those activities. However, it does not cover all activities that may be encountered. And so the Army Corps of Engineers may require you to submit a secondary permit with them specifically, especially if it's getting into, I'll give you a heads up, especially if you're getting into the areas of impacting wetlands of any way, and discharging soils onto wetlands, that you most likely will have to do another permit with the Army Corps of Engineers. So really what it comes down to, so everybody needs, you need to have an application approved before you alter a stream bank. And failure to get one could result in requirements for you to restore the stream, or additional requirements to bring it into compliance with state requirements. In talking to our stream alteration specialist, I really asked him, I said, what would you like everybody to know today? And he really came down to one thing, is he says, we're really here to help you make the best project that you can in the long term. That it's a benefit to you in the long term and the success of your project. And furthermore, that just like I was talking about with dams, if you think you're going to be working in and around a stream, give us a call. We would love to discuss your project with you, talk with you about what's going to be required right up front, so you kind of have a good idea of what you're getting yourself into. That being said, I just made the statement that said you have to have an approved stream alteration permit to alter a stream. Now I'm gonna modify that. So and in light of this upcoming this runoff season that we're going to be, this is maybe fairly important in what's going on here. The state engineer can issue in an emergency such as flooding, like we might have, that we can alter the stream channel, the bed, or bank before receiving official approval. And so what it comes down to is if you're in an emergency situation, and this emergency situation is that the flooding is actual and imminent, or it may be threatening the life and health of people. So what we ask you to do in that instance is you contact the state engineer as soon as possible. Now, that may mean if the flooding is happening at night and you're unable to get a hold of us at night, by all means, do the work that's required, again, in an emergency situation, but contact our office as soon as possible to let us know what's going on, and then we can start working with you on that. and then also 2 days after the emergency situation, work with our stream alteration specialist to submit an application. And then we can look and see what was done during that emergency modifications, and then we can help determine what needs to happen going forward in order, and in some instances, it may be okay, but in other instances, there may be additional requirements that we just need to do just to make sure that that stream is fixed right and in good shape. So that's kind of where we bring it to. I think the biggest thing here is that the biggest thing I could stress is with a stream, if you're going to be working in and around a stream, or if you have plans to construct a dam or work on an existing dam in any way, alter it in any way, give us a call. We would love to talk with you about your projects and help you see where you need to go and be and make it as painless as possible in the process to do that. So any questions again on dams or also on any stream alteration questions? Everyone's ready to go. All right. Okay. All right. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.